thanks for watching. Now, I want to talk about in this video, the hip-hop music industry or the entertainment industry, as a whole. Now, I talked about before how I used to be in the industry, how I work with major labels, and, I really was pushing hard to move up in the entertainment industry. I was an A&R, I represented a lot of people, I managed a lot of artists, and worked with a lot of people who was trying to dedicate their life to an entertainment career. A lot of people invest a lot of money, into their careers, the ones who are really serious and actually have a chance or have the kind of fan base at shows and what have you. And they feel like they have an actual shot in growing their career. And I was able to be a go-between between a lot of up-and-coming artists and a lot of labels and a lot of other A&Rs, a lot of producers and what have you. So, this was my passion for years until, I really started to understand the business and what the industry was about and, the downfall of the Black community because of it. So in pulling a lot of resources and doing a lot of research and digging and just, all the research I did up until that point, I was beginning to understand that, it was all intertwined. Everything went together. So, once I realized that and I really started looking at the industry, I came to the conclusion that, the whole thing is a setup and it's a setup for a reason. Now, a lot of people want to get into the music industry because they feel like they don't have a choice. They either been arrested or they feel like, it's the easiest route they have to becoming successful, to doing something major in their life. A lot of people like the glitz and the glamour, the fame and everything like that, the fortune, the money, the girls, or what have you. And that attracts a lot of people, to hip hop, to the entertainment industry, but especially for Black people in the Black community. When you live in a situation that seems so hopeless, you praying to this God and it seems like nothing is working for you and you have a criminal record, or, it seems impossible for you to reach the goals that you see, upper class or middle class or, white America reach, the American dream, so to speak. So a lot of people turn, to hip hop music, they turn to the entertainment industry as their way out. A lot of people see it as their only way out, and they don't really understand what it really entails. They don't really understand what it really takes to be that few, that one, to actually get the chance to become major. Now, to tell you from a standpoint of a person who's actually been there and sat at those tables and sat across from record label lawyers and executives or what have you, and sat in a lot of conversations about people talking about, artists up and coming and what it takes for artists to come into the game. Especially now, since labels are not doing, artist development anymore because of, the success of the internet, social media. Artists have the ability now to basically promote themselves and do the work that an A&R and artist development team would usually have to do to get an artist to the status of being ready to enter into the entertainment industry. And now, you just got press, press kit, good press kit, got good social media and everything, then you can build a buzz or you can generate a fan base to reach a certain point. The problem is what a lot of people don't realize. All these rappers out here that's making mixtapes and trying to sell they demo and everything like that. A lot of people don't understand that that is not the way. Promotion, getting up your fan base is the way. And the thing is, when you get to a certain point, it takes money. It takes a lot of money. And this is the difference between the people who get in and the people who don't. They have the money to invest in themselves and to grease the palms of the people, the radio stations, the producers that can get you in front of these executives and A&Rs and the right people to get you the deal, get you in front of people. And the thing is, if you don't have the fan base and the buzz of a person who is almost, in the industry, you got to look like you already made it to actually get a deal now, then you're not really going to go nowhere. If you don't have 30 to 50 grand to invest in yourself to, get to that next point, then you're going to get passed by. And if you do sit at that table with less than that, with less than, 500,000 views on YouTube and hundreds of thousands of subscribers and everything like that, really good press. If you make it to that point with just money and you don't have the backup, the good press kit and the fan base and, sales to back that up, then, the labels will just tell you, oh, we never heard of you, you don't have enough, and they'll send you on your way. And all that money you spent to get up to that point, it's just gone. So a lot of people take the independent road and try to enter into the music industry that way. And basically it's the same route, except for you kind of sort of looking for a distribution deal instead of, signing with a major. You really want to do all the work on your own. You don't want no kind of crazy management or no image management and everything like that. An independent artist is, the best way to go if you have the money and the people to back you up with that whole process. But my point in this video is for people to understand what all of this really entails and what goes along with you trying to enter into this industry. And this is the problem with a lot of people don't realize the true purpose of it. And I talked about before in previous videos about generational wealth and what it takes for a family to become successful and to get their family to a status of successful or, a status of wealth. It's generational wealth. It's wealth that is started, with the family and then passed down, generation to generation because of the success of the mother and father first, and then passing it down to the children. So again, if you understand racism, white supremacy, and you want to stop the black man from equaling you or surpassing you in wealth and success, then things must be done to hinder him. And to me, and it's obviously clear that hip hop was one of the things that was created to hinder us. The whole culture of it is so detrimental. It's just so devastating to black people in the black community as a whole. And it's obviously clear, and it's what black people do not really want to understand and realize, that it's harmful to us no matter how you slice it. So if that's your goal and you wanted to destroy a community, you try it with drugs, and then everybody got hip to drugs. The whole drug game, everybody understand it's a big risk, and you're destroying your people at the same time. So when a lot of people start really getting serious because of the drug epidemic, because they was left in a lot of impoverished situations, I'm a product of that, coming from a drug addicted mother and a family that was displaced because of drug addiction. That is what pushed me to be successful today. So a lot of people took that route. So they had to give us the next drug, which was hip hop. And again, when you look at the culture and it's surrounded by everything that you could want in life, money, cars, girls, or what have you, this is what's enticing black men and black women to go towards this field instead of being, scientists and, astronomers or what have you. A lot of people are gravitating more towards the entertainment industry because they feel like it's their only way out. That is the only way they're going to be successful. Either you go and be a sports star, which is, slim to no odds, and you have a choice to be, an entertainer or what have you, something in the entertainment industry. It just seems more likely because this is what they're pushing out to us. This is what we're seeing. So when you look around at TV, you're not seeing so much black doctors. We're not getting the kind of publicity, from black lawyers, doctors, and scientists or what have you, showing black people in the black community that you can earn a living and make good money doing this instead of being a rapper. So we are bombarded with the entertainment industry, with the hip hop culture, and this is what more people are pushing towards, because if you want that kind of wealth and success in life, it seems like the only way you're going to get that kind of money is either hitting the lottery or getting into the entertainment industry. And this is what's holding back a lot of black people. Now, the whole trap to that is that, people are pursuing the entertainment career, pursuing that. And while you're trying to put all your attention and everything into being a rapper or what have you, getting your demo out, promoting yourself and everything like that, what you are not doing, in most cases, what a lot of black people is not doing, is not pursuing that college education. And it's hard to get a person that has skills in music to detach from that, because people, that all the musicians that I know, it's their dream, it's their goal. Everything is about getting signed, making it, and they really, revolve their life around that. And the thing is with hip hop, one of the traps of it is if you rapping about cars and girls and how you get money and how you got this block and this and that, you can't be seen working in Burger King. You can't be seen working in McDonald's or Walmart, what have you. So you trying to promote yourself and be out there and be this big rapper, you can't be at a regular 9-to-5 job talking the stuff you talk about in hip hop, because then people are going to call you a fraud. So what a lot of people do is they try to live that life that they speak of and sell drugs and do the bad things that the music speaks of to try to be authentic to it. And at the same time, you know, they don't understand that it causes their downfall. And this is one of the traps that is attached with people pursuing that. And, you know, I think Bobby Shmurda, in his case, and, you know, all his friends and everything that happened with that is a big example, because Bobby was really living that life. And they was really out there doing these things and rapping about it. And there's a lot of rappers that got caught up in that same thing, trying to live the culture. And at the end of the day, it was their downfall. And this is what's been happening, you know, for years with black people, as far as them following the trend, the culture. We all know what I'm talking about. Everybody just, you want to be cool, you want to be, you know, the culture, popular, what have you. And when you chase that and everything that, you know, comes along with it, you're not chasing success. So while they got you chasing this hip hop dream, because that's what it is, and people justify it saying, you know, this is my dream, this is what I want to do with my life, you know, you can't knock my dreams, let me live. And they're not realizing that while you are chasing this dream, what you are not doing is becoming successful. You are not chasing a doctorate. You're not chasing a PhD or becoming a scientist or becoming successful in an area, a business, or something that's really going to help you help your people and challenge the whole establishment as far as wealth. And that's the goal of racism, white supremacy, for you to do exactly that. I can't tell you how many people that I knew. Everybody who's around my age, I'm 35. Everybody's around my age who grew up and had that friend that has skills, that can rap, and he never did nothing with it. It's a lot of people with that story. You know, your homie has skills and he was doing good, and you thought that he might blow up, and he never did. Now he working at Foot Locker or, you know, Walmart or what have you, because he spent most of his life and his money trying to chase that fame. And the little bit of fame that he picked up, you know, along the way, you know, he got hooked on it and he was pressing on it too much, and it didn't work out the way it was supposed to. And then life hit him. He either knocked somebody up or went to jail, and then, you know, got out older. The game passed him by, and now he has really nothing to show for it. So he got to work somewhere to survive. Can't really go out on the street and grind like that, because you can't really afford to live that kind of life at that age. So, you know, a lot of people, as I said, it's a sad thing to see those dudes that was, you know, on the block and was the man and was rapping and had skills and all this and that. And now, you know, they parking cars or, you know, working at Home Depot. And it's like, it's sad. It's a sad thing to see. So what people got to do, you know, you got some people out there that's smart enough to chase hip hop and at the same time pursue a professional career. But then, you know, they are looked at as not authentic to hip hop. So we already know how it goes with hip hop. If you talking all that stuff, you can't be some dude in college who had a silver spoon in his mouth and everything like that. They will call you fake. It's a trap. When you really look at the whole thing and understand the trap of it, the deception of it, you know, and then everybody who you pull into that life, the women who follow you, the family who follow you, that you pull into that life, and you kind of bring them down because you have these ambitions to follow something that's destroying your people. Now, I talked about this in a previous video on hip hop, about how they have been studying the effects of music for years. And right around the same time they came up with the private prisons, the Grammy Foundation was actually looking into extensively and also funding a lot of schools that did a lot of research on music and the effects of music on the brain. And what they would do is they would hold these seminars with corporations and companies to let them know what type of music should be played in retail settings to get people to shop more, to be more happy or have a better experience within their stores. But, you know, when you talk to scientists and doctors and people who really study the effects of music on the brain, they understand that more than anything else, music can bypass all of the defenses of the brain, past the frontal lobe, past the prefrontal cortex, straight into the control centers of the brain to basically overwhelm you with its message. So when you listen to music, you are basically distracted by the rhythm and the beats, which is why bass is heavily used in a lot of music, especially hip hop. They use a lot of bass because it disturbs your rhythm, disturbs your heartbeat, throws you out of whack. So you're distracted by the beat. The beat makes you move. The beat is like distracting you. You're dancing while the message is implanted. So you hear a lot of women say all the time that, I don't listen to the words. It's the beat. And we see how women dance to the beat. The beat that is so hypnotic that it can make a woman lose control and dance, really out of character. So the beat is really important. But, when you are a person who pick up on the words and study words of songs, like a lot of lyricists do and artists do, then you understand what it's saying. What a lot of people don't realize is the message attached to the music is acted out. And this is what we have been doing in this whole hip-hop culture. Just pay attention. And this is what people don't want to admit to. That if we go back from the beginning of hip-hop and listen to all the lingo, all the lyrics and words and everything that has been put out to us in the Black community, we are using those words today. We are walking that way. We are dressing that way. We live a hip-hop culture because of the music. And it has been the music that has implanted that message within us. And we are now walking around saying words that we didn't even say 2 years ago because of a song. Turning up. We wasn't saying turning up 5 years ago. Crump. We wasn't saying that. It's just words that's now in our vocabulary in the Black community that we all understand because of one song that was popular that came out, and then we all following and using these words. And, it's not so much that it's a bad message behind, a lot of the words, turning up and everything like that, but you can understand that as an example, how a song can, affect a whole culture, a whole bunch of people to get them to start following and using that word. So when you understand that on that level, then you can understand the messages, the negative messages that is attached to music also. Selling drugs, disrespecting women, shooting, killing. And people go and act out that lifestyle and try to live that lifestyle because they are basically following and acting out the message behind the music unknowingly to themselves. Now, I talked about in a video as well about how, you had a lot of rich people that listened to Bach and Beethoven and a lot of classical music, and why they got all dressed up and, all fancy to go listen to people play, that kind of music. And the thing is, classical music is the same. Listen to Beethoven symphonies and a lot of Mozart's and a lot of other classical pianists and classical musicians' music. When you listen to their music, a lot of people don't realize that it stimulates a higher brain function within you. So classical music is associated with wealth and refinement because it stimulates a higher brain function. It actually causes you to become smarter. And, people who speak tonal language really take in music a lot more, a lot better than people who don't speak a tonal language. So their brain is basically already set to the rhythm of music. So, again, these researchers came up with the conclusion that, music is basically a language. So, certain music can do certain things to the brain and program the brain, just like words can. So again, when you're trying to learn something as a child or even as an adult, a word has to be given to you to associate that specific thing, with that word. So for instance, like a cup or a glass, that word glass, you automatically hear that tone and you associate that tone with the glass. And I spoke about how this is how dogs, how animals understand us. It's the tones. They don't understand English. They understand the tone that's attached to the word that you're saying. And they can relate that tone to something, in particular, like a bark or food or what have you. They understand the tone, and our brain works in the same way. So if you speak a tonal language, Thai or, Spanish or Cantonese, Vietnamese, all these tonal languages that's out there, it's really, really easy for you to take in this music. And when you don't have the kind of protection to basically decipher this music, then it's just going to really affect you. And as I said, it's really no defense that you can really have for music except for being conscious of its effect. So the thing is, when you have people listening to Bach and Beethoven and everything like that, classical music, they go on and have a life of wealth, sophistication, class. And, you have people listening to hardcore gangster rap hip hop. They go on to have a life of violence and, poverty or what have you. It's two associations, with these two types of music. And we all understand that. So a lot of people can say, oh, well, I'm fine and I'm okay. I listened to hip hop my whole life. It didn't affect you in that way. That's a unique experience to you. But when you look at the Black community as a whole, we can see the effect that this music has had on us. And when you look at the white community as a whole and look at the generations that grew up listening to classical music, you're working for most of these people. So that should tell you something right there. So it goes back again to what I spoke about earlier about generational wealth. Again, if you are racist white supremacy and you want to affect a community of people, this is how you do it. You got to understand, we march, Black Lives Matter, and, we don't have equality, and it's racism everywhere. And, Black people, we protest and we bitch about a whole bunch of shit, and not wrongfully in the right, but we complain about how there's a bunch of roadblocks in our way. That, the government and the so-called white man is keeping us down. We bitch and complain about this stuff so much. Then we turn to hip hop, who is owned by white people. It's owned by people who want to oppress you. It's owned by people who don't want to give you a dime. They want to take away from you. And the money they do give, they only give to you to oppress you. And you think it's something that's a gift when it's not. There's something attached to it. But the people who actually run the hip hop industry are the same people who are oppressing you, the same people who own the lobbyists that are paying these politicians to not give you anything. They own hip hop. They own the music. So if we're going through all this police brutality, police murders and everything like that, racism and what have you, then why would we accept the hip hop industry from these same people who was doing this to us? What is so good about the hip hop music industry that we are taking from them that, we should have? Why would we expect them to give us something so great? We have the BET awards and all these hip hop awards and all this, everything that's surrounding hip hop that is given to us. Why? And we're accepting it like it's good. Why would they give us that if it's so good and not give us the money to, keep our schools open? Raise the minimum wage, do something about police brutality and police killings, but they will give you hip hop. All that money behind hip hop. Millions of dollars to make one album, thousands and thousands to make a music video for your enjoyment because they love you so much. Think about that. They take everything good away from us. We really got to understand why they let us keep hip hop, why they give it to us. And the reason why it's because it's not good for us. So just sit back and ask yourself this question. How did the Black community get so bad? What happened? We blame the government. We blame white America. We blame the racists. How did the Black community get so bad? Point to me and point out the white people who came into the Black community, who came into the hood, the projects, and made it what it is. Point them out. I'm talking about physically went in there and did, what we see in the projects and in the Black community. Where are these people who physically walked in there and did that? You can't point them out. You can't find them. It was us. And then a lot of people can't look in the mirror and realize that it was us. We did it. So, we point our finger at so many different things and we need to look in the mirror and look at ourselves. But the thing is, you were programmed to do it. It's just that simple. So, yeah, you can point your finger at, the so-called white man, the people who own these hip hop organizations and the government and everything like that. You can point the finger at them, but you got to understand, they controlled you and got you to do their dirty work for them using hip hop. They don't have to step foot in the ghettos. They can affect us via remote control. So when you turn on your TV, when you put those headphones in and listen to that music, you are carrying their message of destruction and you're acting it out in your own community. And a lot of people don't want to realize that and accept that they can be actually controlled by the music. But then how are we losing if that's not the case? How is everything so bad if that's not the case? Give me an alternative answer, because I'm going to tell you this. When you look around and look at the people who's been shooting and killing each other, ain't nobody put that gun in their hand. Ain't nobody put that pack in his pocket and tell him to stand on the corner and sell it. People go out and hustle. People do things to get shot or to shoot people. And that's us who's doing that. You need to understand that it's deeper than that. And then people want to look at poverty and say, well, poverty is the case. And it's a bunch of poor people all over the world, everywhere. And the violence level is just not the same. It's not there. You got people who just try to do something to get by. They build little communities and help each other. You know, when I was in Thailand, you got poor people everywhere. They won't allow you to be poor. The community won't allow you. If they found out that somebody was poor, the people come and give them food. Now, you go into Bangkok and the inner cities where, you know, it's a little bit worse. You got crime. But out in the villages where I was at, it's not that way. If you're in the village and you're hungry, they will bring you food. The communities stick together. It's not like that with us because we have the music that we're following. And so many people be poor and they're so stuck on the message of hip hop that they try to play it off like they not. So you don't really got that much money, but you're trying to be a baller. What is that? You know, and a lot of people buy things that they can't afford. You know, $200 sneakers, $250 sneakers for what? You're not even sure if you can pay your rent. You know, your bill's not up to date, but you're buying $250 sneakers. So, you know, this is the message that's attached to this whole culture that's affecting us. And you got to understand that it's nobody walking into the communities doing that. We are doing this ourselves. They are controlling us. They have been controlling us. And it is us who has destroyed the Black community because we failed to heed the message of people like, you know, C. Dolores Tucker and a lot of other people who spoke out about the dangers of hip hop music and the effects that it would have on the people. It's a lot of people who lost children who tried to speak out. I mean, you're not going to get that message from the news media. They're not going to tell you that. And then people are going to call me crazy because they have this, you know, fantasy of being some kind of major hip hop or entertainment celebrity. So they're not going to want to hear my message. People like listening to certain music, so they're not going to want to accept what I'm saying. They're going to try to find flaws, you know, holes. Oh, it's not the music, it's the people. You know, it's the same argument you can have. Well, it's not the gun that killed people, it's the person who got the gun. But what's wrong with that person who got the gun? Why did he pick up that gun? What was the reason behind that? It's more, it's deeper to it, and you got to look and just not call people stupid. Look deeper into the whole thing. Anybody who does that will see that it all comes back to the music and the people behind the music, and it's not us. It's not Black people. Hip hop can save us just as, you know, just as well as it destroyed us, that it is destroying us. You know, hip hop can really change everything around. But the people who you look up to in hip hop have been bought off. And they are under people who definitely not going to allow that to happen. So the people who you look to get the right message from are the people who are deceiving you. As I said, they sold you out. You know, they sold you out for money. They don't really care. You know, if your kid got shot by some person who, you know, was influenced by music, they don't really care about that. You know, they care about that check. They're going to tell you how much they love you, how much they appreciate your support, and thanks for coming out and buying the tickets or what have you. But at the end of the day, they're going to go back to a mansion. You're going to go back to work in the hood. You know, that you are scared of walking down the street at certain times. You're scared of going into certain neighborhoods and everything like that. You have issues or people who you love with drug problems and what have you. And you are fueling and aiding the very people that is behind, you know, your pain and fears. And, you know, that's just the case. And a lot of people really understand what I'm talking about, but don't want to let it sink in, you know, for, you know, a bunch of reasons. But, you know, again, you know, hip hop is something that, you know, I came up with and I grew to love. And just, you know, when you're in the studio putting together music, you know, it's a beautiful thing. When you walk in the studio and you have nothing and, you know, you put together the beat, and then you put together and it comes together and it's just like, you know, that moment, it's like fun. It just feels like, damn, this can't be wrong. It feels so right. I'm with my people. We having a good time. We just made this nice banger, beautiful song, you know, and we accept that emotion and that feeling, and we don't realize that the music we put out is just so negative because this is what the industry wants. The song you put out is based upon things that you heard from other rappers, the things that you think will sell. So since all the rappers who big and blowing up and who doing big things is rapping about killing and murder and girls and all this and that, you think that's what you have to do to appeal to the masses. So you can't be nobody and walk out, try to pull out a banger about unity, you know, going to college and investing your money and becoming, you know, an entrepreneur, a smart businessman. A lot of people not really going to pay attention to that. You got to, you know, bring the persona. You got to bring the culture and put it in your music and get people to listen to what you think they want you to make. And again, the labels are not going to push anything positive because that's not what they want. So we listen to the music that we have today, and it's horrible. We all know it. It's disgusting. It's sick. It's stupid. And they're dumbing us down little by little by little. Let me just look at it. Look at it. This music is whack. So you have the real lyricists on the bottom, not really doing too much. And now we have these mumble mouth, whack weirdos out here with all kind of just stupid dribble music and people just going crazy over it. And I'm like, what is wrong with people? And, you know, I never once asked myself that question, you know, am I getting old? Because I'm not stupid. There's so many people who feel the same exact way. But then, you know, you just have people who really, you know, just like the music, and I'm just trying to figure out, you know, why. And it's because it's popular. You know, that's what it is. If a lot of these songs you put out and you gave to people who never heard it before, never heard of the artist is not famous, not on TV, nobody knows who it is, and you give it to most people, they're going to say it's corny. But as soon as you put somebody on TV and make them famous and you put out that corny music, everybody's going to jump on it because the person is famous. And it's just so horrible. So, you know, we don't have, you know, too many good lyricists out there anymore, and too many people that's, you know, it's nobody really saying stuff that's important to black people to really uplift black people. And if they do, it might be a couple bars or one song, you know, just to hide the fact, you know, of what they really doing. But for the most part, we don't have that full positive artist that's coming at every single other artist about what they doing to the black community. It don't exist, not mainstream. So this is what we face with. This is what we stuck with. And you got to understand it's just not going to change, you know, overnight. It's not going to change until people start, you know, standing up and saying, yo, I don't want this shit no more. It's horrible. I'm not paying no money. I don't want to listen to it. It's corny, and leave it alone and just stop jumping on these people jock because they're famous. I mean, speak up, you know, tell the truth about what it is. It's horrible. Anytime somebody jump in front of a crowd of, you know, thousands of people and talk about killing their own people, you know, the majority of these people in these hip hop concerts are white, and they right front stage. Look at the pictures. And you up there talking about killing your own people in front of them, and they go back home with that. When all of their adrenaline goes down and they're not hyped no more and they're in their personal life, that sticks with these white folks. And they understand that, damn, this dude's up here talking about killing, and this is what y'all promote. So, you know, they use that argument against us all the time. They don't care about each other. Y'all talking about killing each other all the time. Y'all glorify it. So then we got to deal with that. And, you know, when something racial comes up, and then people just stuck like, it's nothing you can say because they right. Now, I just finished up a whole series on Satan and what that really entails, and why you see the celebrities and people in the entertainment industry flashing that whole, you know, satanic, the devil horns and everything like that, you know, and what all that stuff really means and what it goes back into. We got into that, but we're going to talk about it a little bit briefly here, because you got to understand what that really entails. Again, when people say that a hip hop star or, you know, somebody in the entertainment business sold their soul for fame and fortune, we talked about the reptilian brain, the lower brain, which would be considered the reptilian brain or Satan. And the thing is, you know, Satan represents materialism, plain and simple, and represents the materialistic world, the lower brain. So when you sell your soul to Satan, you're selling your soul to the material brain, the lower self, your lower self. And this is what, you know, the hip hop industry represents. This is why it's all about cars, flashing money and chains and watches and gold and girls, materialistic things. This is what they sold out to, the lower brain, the lower self. So, you know, when they say, well, you sold your soul to the devil, this is what it means. This is the metaphor. And I got into that in the video. We're going to get into that a lot more in this series so people can understand, you know. And it's really about the balance of the two, the higher brain, you know, the third eye, you know, the prefrontal cortex, which leads to the third eye, higher brain, lower brain, the reptilian brain, bringing them together and, you know, becoming one. This is something that when you see the third eye and when you see people just flash so many so-called, you know, satanic stuff, this is what they're referring to. They're referring to the understanding of this knowledge and the fact that they did sell out for the materialistic world and for materialism. Basically what they're saying. And it's a lot of things people got to really understand when it comes to the industry. Again, If you're a person that's supposed to be a Christian and you're looking into this industry and you keep running into Satan and it's, making you run back, it's stuff that you really need to understand as far as the Bible and all that, because you're going to be confused. So again, this is something that I seen when I was in the industry, and you have devil parties, bullshit you not, and you have stuff that's seems so real and satanic that a lot of people get caught up in it. They don't understand how to deal with it. So I got a lot of questions from people who I used to work with who was, entering into the business, who would send me emails and, they hit me up about this stuff and, what I know. And I try to convey to them that it's not really something that you really want to do. Even if you do get to that point where you can blow up, it's not really worth it. It's just not worth it. It's other ways for you to get money. And to a lot of people who don't have really nothing else, they have no shot, no choice. It's the only opportunity that they got, they're going to go forward. People who have been put down as a child and told that they can't do this and told they can't do that, who went through a lot, they're going to gravitate more to the fame and the success of it. Not going to care about anything else. People want their transformation. They want to say, I told you so. They want to shit on people, count their money and throw it in people's face and, have all that. So it's not really geared towards a person that has morals, that's trying to do something good with their life, that has a moral grounding, especially in religion. It's not for you. So you really got to understand what you're getting into. So many artists out there, so many people out there that's falling for this trap, especially black folks that's falling for this trap. If you're out there trying to pursue music and you're forgetting everything else, then you are not creating generational wealth. You're living by the culture that tells you that, the black woman is a hoe and you need to sleep with, a bunch of girls and kill people and all this and that. So you're not establishing the foundation that is, really, really needed to create generational wealth. It's a must-have. So you have to have that family first. You got to have that stable mom and dad that is successful to begin generational wealth. And you have a whole bunch of generations of black people, African Americans, who have not succeeded in doing that. So many single families, so many single parents, so many fathers in prison. And this is what this hip-hop entertainment culture has created, and it's all by design. And if you don't understand that now, then you obviously don't want to, because it's clear as day, what's taking place. It's all linked and tied into together. Hip hop and the whole prison industrial complex, this whole thing with the police shootings, and it's just so much that's tied into breaking up the black family and breaking up the role of the black man in the house and the role that he has with the black woman. And it's this industry, hip hop, puts a separation between us. But it's rare these days to see people who live in that culture to actually, be successful, coming from, the bottom to the level of a Jay-Z or Beyonce. It's just not that many people. So a lot of people don't understand it's like hitting a lottery for you to go from poverty and living in the hood to being a Jay-Z or being a Kanye West or Beyonce or Rihanna. It's slim to nil. So you have a better shot at being a doctor, being a scientist, astronomer, astrophysicist, or what have you. Somebody that works in engineering, electronics, somebody that has a nice corporate career, or a business owner, owning your own company. You have a better shot in doing that, and still making really good money and still having what you want. You have a better shot in doing that than becoming the next big superstar. So that is something that you should pursue more than, putting all your time and energy and money into something that is likely not going to happen. And you got so many people that think they know, what it takes. So I got skills, I'm good, I'm gonna make it because of my talent and this and that. A lot of people who are arrogant to how the industry works. It has nothing to do with your talent. It's a lot more to it that we're going to get into with this series. And if you don't understand that, if you don't understand the trap of it, then you're going to fall victim to it. And a lot of people don't care. They feel like, when people talk against it, it's like with religion. You're talking against my hopes and dreams. So a lot of people don't want to hear the message of, get away from hip hop. So you got to understand, these people who you're looking up to, who you think is great, and these famous entertainers and celebrities that you think is awesome, and you praise and you worship more than you worship your God. These people are sellouts to me. And I always say that. They sellouts, they sold you out for money. They don't care what these people are doing to you and what the music is doing to you. They don't care what the people who own their labels is doing to you and what these private prisons are doing to the black men. They don't care about the separation of the black family and the black child and what is going to happen to that black child because his father is not in the house. What's going to happen to that black child because his mother's not in the house. What's going to happen to that young black woman who is seeing all this stuff on TV that's telling her to do something unspeakable with her body, to be a whore, son, to be a gangster, to kill people, drug dealers, hurt your people. You know, they don't care about that. They don't care what it's doing to the brain, the consciousness of a young black person, because they only care about the money. And we know that. They only care about the money. Buy the album, buy tickets to my show, shut the fuck up. I don't care about nothing else. It's crazy because people actually still don't get that. People don't get that. And as much as we've been marching and people protesting and the whole Black Lives Matter and everything that's going on, again, you know, it's a joke for us to do this stuff when we glorify music that's talking about killing each other. And they understand that. It's no excuse that any rapper can give you to justify what they're doing and speaking about and glorifying the destruction, the death, the murder, the killing, the poverty of the black community and not putting in no uplifting music. No uplifting tunes or songs that's going to help you come out of poverty. You know, it's going to enrage you and fuel you and get a lot more people to pursue the entertainment career that is going to destroy them. It's just that simple. So these people don't care. They sold you out. You need to understand that. And yeah, we're going to talk about this. We're going to get into this a lot more in the next video. Again, thanks to everybody who donated. I'm going to be promoting and pumping the GoFundMe page to try to get to that mark, of course, because it's really serious. There's a lot of things that is good in this whole business plan for my website that's going to help black people. I talked about before about houses. A lot of stuff in it. I don't really want to get it out on camera and talk about it on camera because I think it's good, and I really don't want to put the idea out on social media. But it's a lot of good things in there. It's a lot of things that I put in there to help people. And if I get this off the ground, you know, it's going to be a good thing for us. So again, thanks to those who donated and everybody who's supporting buying the DVDs and trying to get to that mark. It's a really big deal, you know, to do this. It's really good for us to get this out the way. So thanks to everybody who donated. I'll see you guys next video. Thanks for watching.